Hello, friends. It's me again, and it's time for another story. This is from our friend Phantom Flower. Haven't heard from you in a while. Glad to see you're still around. This is Psy the Fluid Guy. That makes me very nervous, but okay. Hello, Moonhorse. Hello. And the Celestial Herd. Hope you're doing well, because I sure am not. A lot of personal issues on my end, which I won't bore any of you with the details. I need a break, and I figured I'd tell you all a recent person I met over the ever so infamous art site known as DeviantArt. Oh god, DeviantArt. Never has there been a place filled with more scum and villainy. A little background before we begin. I'm a small-time artist on the site. I joined because of my brother to help with some emotional anguish, and I'm honestly having a lot of fun with the site. It gave me something to look forward to and helping with my creativity, instead of wallowing in self-pity. I even made a few good friends through this site. I also started up commissions, so people are paying me to draw for them. Hey, that's really cool. I do love this site a lot, but that's not to say that I haven't met my share of weirdos and toxic people. I can confidently say that I've only encountered 3 of them by far. Fingers crossed it'll stay that way. The first person was by the name Mr. Draw, not his real name or username, whom I believe I mentioned before. You did, I remember reading that story. If not, here's a brief recap. Mr. Draw is the first person I met on DA who would be considered very manipulative, which was sad because I have considered him to be a pretty good friend. What ended this friendship is when he threatened self-harm unless I didn't draw a large-breasted xenomorph hentai for him. I remember that, yes. I reported him, hoping he would get help, but he ended up ghosting me for a while. He came crawling back, pretending nothing had happened and that everything was okay. I wised up and finally blocked him. Good. The second person I met was a watcher of mine, which was confusing because all he did was just criticize my art in the harshest way. And before anyone says I can't take criticism, this guy would not offer feedback of any kind. He would simply reply, "This is terrible. Your art looks like shit." Or, "None of this works." Reminds me of somebody I know. He was especially triggered when I happened to draw a crossover between 2 of my favorite anime, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Land of the Lustrous, if anyone's wondering. I don't know what either one of those are. It wasn't anything explicit or anything, just 2 characters hanging out. But for the life of me, this guy was beyond pissed about it. So, this guy is basically watching my art feed just so he can find something to be angry about and insult me. Classy dude. In short, it just sort of devolved into a screaming match. I have to take some blame of this because I did not handle the interaction well. Throwing insults left and right like a child was not my finest moment, but by God, this guy got on my nerves. I seriously had no idea I could get so angry until I met this person. This ended with him unwatching me and blocking me, and I'm really fine with that. Yeah, he sounds like a real fucking classy gentleman. The third guy, which this story is mainly about, oh boy. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's a language barrier, or he's just socially inept. But this whole interaction with him was the equivalent of slamming your head against a concrete wall, hoping for something to give way. Turns out, you'll just be left with brain damage. For the sake of the story, we'll call him Psy, the Fluid Guy. And why I call him that is, well... After the incident with Mr. Draw, I made it upfront and clear of what I am comfortable with drawing and what I am not. Especially now that I've started commissions. There's the basic limitations, no massive amounts of gore, no nudity, especially if they're underage. I don't care what your character's thousands of years old or not. It's just not going to happen, okay? And no fetish art whatsoever. I think I'm pretty fair with my limitation, and that it's important to be upfront about it. In fact, I posted it twice, once on the homepage and once in my journal, just in case. Thankfully, my DA friends totally understand, and they don't pressure me. That is until Psy started watching me. Psy messaged me, telling me he liked my art, and I got a commission request from him. I'm like, okay, what would you like me to draw? He was completely silent for hours before replying. He showed me drawings of his OC, which looked like a gruff, greasier version of Daniel Boone from the movie Nightbreed. I got nothing. I'll be the first to admit it. Sai had talent. His character was pretty cool looking. He said he wanted me to draw his OC with my favorite OC together. Wanting to be thorough with my new customer, I asked him questions. Which OC of mine did he want to be paired with? I have a lot. And what did he want them to be doing? Half the day went by in silence until he finally messaged back. Sai replied that he wanted his OC and mine to be together, naked. I was pretty annoyed by this. I figured maybe he just didn't read what I had put up. It's fine, I'm that way sometimes. I politely messaged him back, telling him that while I would draw something else for him, drawing NSFW art of any kind is out of the question for me. It makes me uncomfortable. I kid you not, it took a week for him to reply with, "Oh, okay, fine." I figured the issue was resolved, so I asked Sai which OC of mine he would like to hang out with. The month had passed when he finally messaged me back. While the gaps between messages did annoy me, I figured maybe he's busy with work or life in general. Instead of telling me who he wanted his character to be drawn with, Sai was informing me of intimate details and various heated positions that he wanted our characters to be in. I reminded him yet again that I do not draw that kind of stuff. Not at all, no way, no how, no matter what. Sai said that he understood it would never bring it up again. So I gave him another chance, implanting the 3 strikes and you're out mentality. He was on strike too. Sai gave me details, but not the details I wanted. I still did not know which character he wanted me to draw, so I asked him this, and I did not receive a reply, even though he was online. Sai was silent for a few months. I honestly had forgotten he even had a request. That isn't until last week when he messaged me again. The message was nothing less than graphic and very extremely detailed. So detailed that I actually want to surgically remove my brain and dump it in bleach, hoping to wash this filth away. Without describing the horrible, horrible details, Sai was telling me the details of how he wanted his drawing with my OC, what position they would be in, what kind of erotic face my OC would make, what she would be screaming in ecstasy. I vomited a little at this point. How big his little friend is, and what movements he would be making as he, And anyone wondering why I called him the fluid guy? He was absolutely transfixed on that specific detail of this fantasy. How it would just gush out of certain places, or drip in others, or pool below. He put far more detail into these fluids than he did with anything else. Now, you all may hate me for describing this to you, but believe me, it's much worse when I say that I gave you the PG version. You didn't read the actual message he sent. It is so much worse. I'm considering burning the internet just to get rid of any traces of it. Below the message was a link to a pic, and he said that he wanted to do what was said above to your favorite OC. And with that, my heart sank. Why did my heart sink? Because my most favorite OC is one I made for a Cuphead fan group. A character named Stella. 2 of her major characteristics is that she is an alien, and she's 8 years old. It's a huge deal to me for someone to fetishize a child-looking character. It's even bigger if it's my character. So I looked at this link. Good news, it was not my character. Bad news, it is my DA persona. I'm disgusted, creeped out, and confused. My DA persona is a ghost girl with a flower on her head and nothing below her waist. It's no secret that this is my persona, and I admit that I took this message even more personally. And this is strike 3. We're done. I messaged him again, letting my anger show through the message. I told him that I have reminded him on multiple occasions that I do not draw that kind of thing, and instead of understanding my limitations, he kept pushing and disrespecting me. Sai replied within the hour, simply saying, "Okay, fine." I didn't block him, partly because I'm a dummy, and partly because at least one final chance is needed. However, if he messages me again with the sort of nonsense that I think would go to the petty and humiliating route by posting it publicly on his profile for his friends to see, outright calling him out on his creepy behavior, is it low? Yeah, probably. Will it give me some satisfaction? Very much. Would I regret it? Maybe, but also no. Sai's been quiet for a while now. I'll just have to wait and see whatever will happen next. I'll update if this goes any further. Until then, thank you for letting me rant. I need a distraction right now, and the Moonhorse community is always so relaxing to be around. We are good like that. Hope you all have a wonderful, stress-free day. You know, the worst part about this is not the first time I've heard, like, a friend or anyone in this community, artists who are constantly being sent things that are way outside of their wheelhouse or against their own limitations. This is not an uncommon thing, but it's still just so gross, isn't it? Like, especially the part about how this is posted, specifically the rules of, like, I don't do porn, on multiple occasions, in multiple places, and even directly to this person. And he just keeps on like, oh, no, it's fine because it's me. And just, like, dude, seriously? Oh my god. There's a lot of these, and honestly, I know that some of you guys who are listening to this are also artists and do commission work and stuff like that, and if you ever want to share horrible commission stories, because I know there are definitely some horrible ones. Like I said, I have friends who are also artists, and they have told me some true horror stories, which I think are just hilarious. I'm going to be honest with you. So, if you ever want to share those with me, hey, please do. But this guy sounds like a real fucking creep. So, yeah, like, it's one thing to be like, you know, this is a thing I want, and the person be like, nah, man, that's not that's not really what I do. Then you're just like, oh, okay, well, then I'll think of something else. Or, oh, okay, well, that's kind of what I want, but if you're not into that, that's cool, I don't have to do that. Well, I'll find someone else. It's no big deal. It's easy enough to be like, oh, I get it, and then move on. But no, this was a manipulation thing. This was someone who is trying to force their own things. And then, you know where I'm going. Oh, that wonderful thing that I hate so very, very much. This fucking creep is just like, I want this done with an 8-year-old. Is it possible to set someone on fire through the internet? Because I kind of want to. I'm really thinking about it. Thinking about it really hard, actually. Just, yeah, I think that needs to happen. That's 10 kinds of disgusting. You guys already know how much I hate that shit. And it's like, oh, but it's just a drawing. Oh my god, that doesn't matter. It's still fucking creepy. Alright? Still fucking creepy. I don't give a shit. I can think things are creepy and think things are wrong without having to have a whole thing about it, and it is. Much in the same way that I think, like, the adult baby diaper lover community is creepy. I am well aware of the fact that a lot of them, I don't know every single person, but I am well aware of the fact that a lot of them are normal, adjusted people who happen to like this thing, and that's fine. You can like whatever thing you want. I still think the fact that you're wearing a fucking diaper and shitting yourself is pretty goddamn weird. Okay? It just is. There's a lot of things that are fucking weird. There's a lot of shit that I like that is fucking weird. But not being able to say that something is fucking weird is also just not cool. But also, this guy sounds like he's one step away from a, what's that word that Chris Chan used all the time? Pedofork. Yeah, there's that one. I'm not making any specific accusations, I'm just thinking them really hard, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, this was fun. Thank you for sharing this story, and I really hope you don't have to put up with this guy anymore, Phantom Flower. I remember your art. I remember you did some cool pictures, and I'll have to check your site out again. I really enjoyed it. And thank you all for being here. If you would like to send in your own story, you can send it to my subreddit. Obviously, that's where I read this stuff from. I don't talk about that kind of thing enough. You can also send all kinds of stuff to my subreddit. Fan art, weird links, shit you think that I might be interested in. I mean, just do it. It's my subreddit. I'm the one who makes the fucking rules. So, but if you'd like to support this channel so I can keep doing this and other things, whatever the hell it is I'm doing with my life, I have a Ko-Fi page. And I have a merch store. I forgot the word merch for a second there. I'm alright. I love you all so very, very much. Make sure you do the YouTube thing too, whatever, who cares. YouTube sucks. But I love you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful everything. Just all the time. Be awesome. That's our new thing. It's going to be our tagline. It's going to be the channel tagline. Moonhorse Stories. Be awesome. Okay, it's kind of lame now that I said it out loud. But anyway, you guys have an awesome time, and I love you all so very much. I said that 3 times now. I'm good. I'm a professional. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.